4-7, Ellie Goulding and Byrne. It is 9/14, the Victoria, Texas Independent Film Festival underway. Day 2 gets underway tonight, and tonight is also the night that you're going to be able to see Ethan Minsker's documentary, Self Medicated. It's all about art. Ethan, of course, was on the show last year, and he just informed me this morning that I think the segment we did here on the radio is in the movie, or at least a little bit of the footage is in the movie Self Medicated. So let's give it up to not only Ethan Minsker, but we have an entire studio full of very talented people. So hey, round of applause for everybody. Our listeners out there, tell them a little bit about what the film is about.
Artists, and I think a lot of people who actually make art, they do it to use art as a way to self-medicate.
We started something that's just kind of continued to grow.
Like a little collective.
Like a little collective, exactly. And we have communities like that in different areas of the world. So this film actually follows us from here to Chihuahua. It goes through Lisbon. It goes through the Lower East Side, New York. Introduces you to lots of different artists and different ways of approaching art making.
Are you actually making art at each one of these different locations, or are you just showcasing the art that's already there?
No, we're making work actively.
The point of the film is it's like outreach. So we make a film about local artists as a way to find more local artists. So the events that we do here are not just screening films. Sunday and Saturday we have an artist salon in the Sam Houston building where there's local artists that will be displaying their work for the day of Saturday and Sunday. And then Sunday night we're doing a silk screen party at 5 to 6 before the screening where you can bring in your shirts and we will print on them right in front of you.
Wow, that's great.
And then after the screening, we'll do a portfolio review if any artists actually want to come in and bring in samples or whatever they have. We try to go into the community, engage the community, and then build our larger community through outreach.
We set out to interview Ethan for our podcast for the Film Fest. And, Ethan's written a couple of books, they did the film, they were going to do a mural, so we were really excited to meet them and interview them. And I think during dinner on the first night that I met him, he said, well, I want to take some time to interview you. And I was really kind of taken aback by that because, usually we're on the other side of it. From there, it just kind of grew. It's really weird, when the day they left, we kind of said, man, you guys have such a good thing going on here. Really wish we had that here. And he looked at me like I was crazy and said, you do. You have exactly that going on here. You have artists, you have writers, you have all these things going on. So over the past year, we've been working on getting a collective together. We put out a poetry book. Jake Ramirez and I are doing a book together with the help of Film Exchange. We've been doing art shows. We've been doing all these things. We've kept in constant contact with Ethan through Skype. One minute he's kind of like a mom where he's giving me assignments for zines to write, and the next minute he's like kind of like your best friend, and where he's giving you advice when you want to quit. And every artist should have a copy of this film because there's days that you do want to quit and you don't. And sometimes you think it's not worth it, and you watch a film like that and it inspires you to come back out of it.
What advice would you give to, let's say there are artists listening to the show that have never met any of you guys, but it's a struggle for them every day. What kind of advice would you give to those people listening?
I'd say the major thing with us is that artists in general are solitary. And by working together as a group, it gives you a lot more ability, power, and your options open up, multiplying the options by all the people you outreach to. So forming groups and working together is a very positive thing for us. So I would suggest that every, artist try that.
Last night, I really, really enjoyed Mr. Rainey there, Joe, performing for us. Let's talk about his connection with you, Ethan.
We met Joe last year and we did some video footage of him. In the films we make, and this one is actually like the third in a series of these kind of art projects, we take a musician and we kind of feature them, meaning like usually in each of these films there's a variety of bands, each band gets 1 or 2 songs.
Right.
In this film, Joe has maybe 5 songs in there so far.
Yeah, quite a bit.
So he's definitely the featured artist, so his music gives the emotional backbone of the entire film.
Joe, how did you decide which songs you wanted to use in that film?
I didn't decide. It's more like me sending songs out to Ethan. As soon as I write them, I'll send them, for feedback or whatever else. Just send them, hey, he wrote a song, hey, I'm gonna send it to Ethan. Now I'm recording at Burn Merchant Records. Every time I record anything, I'll send it like the new stuff.
The Self Medicated movie was recently screened in Austin at the RXSM Film Festival there. What kind of response did you get to the movie, from Austin when you screen the movie there?
When you screen a film, it's like you're looking for just a few people that want to become really dedicated to what you're doing, and we had a few people that were very excited and wanted to get involved further with it. So, yeah,
It sounds like actually whenever you guys screen this movie, you're looking in the audience to see who you can get to join the collective there. Like, okay, look at these people right here, you know.
Yeah.
it's a net.
Yeah, which I like that. That's really, really cool. Another thing, while Ethan is down here and all these talented people, you can pick up a copy of his Zine, which I will see you putting these together. You distribute these all over, I guess, the East Coast while you're up there, and down here when you come down. But tell us a little bit about your new Zine that people will be able to pick up here at the film festival.
Yeah, the fanzine's called Psychomoto Zine. It's been in existence since 1988. It's been featured at the New Museum of Contemporary Art in New York City. We put over 5,000 copies. It's in the galleries. It's sent all over the world. So that's kind of the first way people usually access our group. They submit to the fanzine, we put their art in there, and then if we like it, we ask them to do more, and then we build up a relationship, and then you end up coming to other countries like Quito and Ecuador, and sitting on a mountain watching somebody play guitar. Like, this is like kind of the stuff that's in the film.
Yeah, I really like that part.
If you're finding this interview very interesting and you're like, wow, I have some questions for Ethan, well, make sure you come to the screening, because after the screening, Ethan will be there to answer. In fact, all of these guys will be there, so if you have any questions for any of them, hit him up, because there'll be a little Q&A session after the movie as well. Thank you.